know you're not ready to talk about this yet, but the Mars retrograde story is beginning now. Mars enters Cancer on September 4th. We're going to be working with Mars in Cancer through the end of April. And Mars in Leo, we're going to be working with that next and into the spring of 2025. So that whole drama, that whole story starts right now. Let's discuss. Mars, the planet of fight or flight, motivation, gut reaction, and passion, the thing that drives us unconsciously. Mars is going to be entering the sign of Cancer. Mars is going to be entering the sign of Cancer on September 4th and is going to be hanging out there on and off through April 18th, 2025. You heard me. Buckle up. We're going to be working with this energy for a long time. Why? It's kind of unusual, but it's really not though, because Mars goes retrograde every 2 years. So this time we're going to be working with the retrograde energy along the signs of Leo and Cancer. So the retrograde will begin in Leo early December, December 6th. And it's going to spend half its time in Cancer though. So notice that whatever's coming up for us here between September 4th and that first ingress into Leo, November 3rd, dun dun dun, is going to be a precursor of some things that we may be working with later on. So in this video, I'm really just going to be talking about Mars and Cancer, not too much about the Mars retrograde. We'll be talking a lot about that. Trust me, I've been talking about it a little bit in my election videos and my election forecast for the United States presidency. But let's talk about Mars and Cancer so we can better understand that. So Mars is fallen in Cancer. That means that Mars struggles with its confidence in Cancer. So there's a hesitation to act a lot of the time, a sense of a lack of confidence. You know, the crab actually has weapons attached to it. The crab can pinch and the crab will charge and attack. You know, we're looking at this is Cancer, the sign of the crab. But it doubts itself, it doubts its abilities a lot of the time. Fallen planets do. They don't have the confidence to know that, like, to trust the instinct, to trust the reaction. But here's the thing, though, is that a lot of times for the sign of the crab, especially with Mars and Cancer, the battle strategy is to avoid and to retreat. The battle strategy is to run. Is it the most, like, victorious thing that you could do? No. But it will save your life nonetheless if you run away. And that's why Mars has triplicity rulership in Cancer. So there are some redeeming qualities that Mars in Cancer has. Is it going to be praised and get the Medal of Honor? Probably not. Although we do see a ton of athletes with Mars in Cancer. Strangely enough, we do see a ton of them. And maybe it's the ability to be sneaky, Mars and Cancer, the ability to kind of sidestep and to do things that are not expected. And also, the other thing about a fallen planet, and this is probably more like natal, is that you work on it a lot. It can be an asset of strength because it's something that you are conscious about and you're worried about. And so you build a sense of trust with yourself with that placement. But anyhow, the way that we're going to be experiencing it collectively is going to be a lot different. On a more personal level, this kind of pairs nicely with what I was saying about Venus and Cancer, or I'm sorry, Venus and Libra. It is a shift. It is a major shift. Venus in Libra wants to be nice. Well, Mars in Cancer doesn't want to take the jab to your chest. It wants to kind of like avoid and be passive about it, to be passive aggressive. Like, well, maybe you should think about doing A, B, C, or D. It's suggestive. So both of these energies are very suggestive. They're not spicy, they're suggestive. But Mars in Cancer is unpredictable. It can dart out unexpectedly. And the other thing is that sometimes it is the best strategy to retreat, to go underground, to protect your energy, to protect your peace, and to protect your reserves. But Mars in Cancer, it's holding on to something. Mars in like the Cancer crab is its own house. So when it retreats, it's also like clinging and protecting to what is sacred to it. So we're going to be seeing this as a theme with Mars in Cancer. There's a clinging energy that is really important. Cancer as a sign is nurturing, but it's tight-fisted. So if Cancer shares with you, trust that you are very loved by them. But there's a desire to cling and hold on and defend what is sacred to it, what one loves. So it's like a fallen, retreating, kicking and screaming kind of energy that we're going to be working with here with Mars and Cancer. Is it the most proactive? No, but it knows where it stands. It understands the stakes. It's passive, it's suggestive, it's salty. Mars and Cancer can be very salty. It's the little corrosive slices which add up over time. Mars and Cancer, we're going to be working with this one with the retrograde. It is a little bit of a lower energy. Again, Mars is fallen here. It's cooled by the waters of Cancer. It's not feisty. It's not valiant. It's not bold. It doesn't want to be seen. It's a little bit more sneaky. And I'm going to do things where I'm not noticed. That's where the passive aggressive things come in, where it's like, did I hear you right? Did you really mean that? And it's like, can make some excuses here. So there's something about like wanting to make moves in a way that isn't going to call the attention of everyone else. Something about going behind the scenes and being like careful and cautious about it. So, yeah, Mars in Cancer, it's motivated by how it feels. There's no rhyme or reason. You can't really reason with this energy. It's just instinctual. It's the way that baby turtles hatch and they just know to go to the water. No one shows them this. No one tells them this. It's just what they do. It's just what I think about this a lot when observing like the animal kingdom, like why animals do what they do. It's just an instinctive thing. So the way that we're going to be motivated with Mars and Cancer is how we feel in that moment. It's really difficult to strategize a week from now, a month from now. It's like, how do you feel? So as we're feeling into the Mars retrograde energy later, it's a lot about trusting our instinct, trusting how we feel, doing like what makes us feel safe, what makes us feel protected. And we'll be seeing some of that now, doing things that motivate us to protect our assets, to protect our peace, to protect what we know as sacred. So the one to watch with this Mars and Cancer direct is going to be on September 16th. Mars in Cancer is going to square the nodes of fate. And so we're going to be making a choice here. The choice is in what we are defending. What are we protecting? What are we fighting for? What makes us feel vulnerable? What makes us feel like we have to kind of close our fists and protect our chest? Do we have to be afraid of that? Is that something that we're really needing to be fearful of? Is that something worth defending anymore? That's something that I think a lot of us are going to be thinking about with Mars retrograde, is what we're willing to defend, what we're willing to die on a hill for, basically. What's worth protecting? Is it really that scary? Or maybe it's a choice in reaction, the way that we react to things. Again, like Cancer is a very particular sign. Is that thing something I still need to be particular about? Do I really need to be choosy and particular and sensitive about that? How we react to things. Okay, so there may be some awareness there on how we react when we're in a stressful moment. So pay attention to that, because that could also show up on the world stage. Choices in battles, choices in attacks, choices in like what we're defending on the world stage. There could be choices in how we aggress or how we defend there. So this is going to be our first introduction here, this 2-month stretch from September 4th through November 3rd, which is going to be a big one. That ingress into Leo, Mars is going to immediately, like right before that, at the end of Cancer. So that's another one we need to watch, is this opposition with Pluto. We're going to be seeing that right there at the anaretic degrees, 29 degrees Cancer, 29 degrees Capricorn there. And that happens right before the US election. So again, this clinging, protecting, defending, we're going to see it play out in a very dramatic way around that time. Mars opposite Pluto is manipulative, will do anything it takes to protect. It will break the rules, it will be sneaky, it will go behind, it will avoid confrontation. So that is something that we really need to watch at the beginning of November. It will make itself known. But then Mars is going to go into Leo, and we're going to see this next chapter in this whole Mars retrograde drama. So it starts now. It starts now. We're going to be working with this Cancer Leo energy for a very long time. So buckle up. This is the start of it. And we'll have to keep checking in about this. But for right now, this is your astrology shot of the day, and I'll catch you next time. Bye. Thanks so much for tuning in with me today. For more astrology in your world, you can connect with me on all platforms at Astro Catherine. You can also head on over to my website, catherineurban.com, where you can book your next astrology reading. We'll go into depth into your natal chart, your progressions, your profections, your solar return, your transits, and beyond. You can also join my mailing list where you can stay up to date with me on new classes as well as article drops. I look forward to connecting with you, and I'll see you next time.